just like to say, Sigmund Freud, he said that fear of weapons is a sign of sexual immaturity. Thank you, that's all. Gary DeBoer.
Good evening once again, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Gary DeBoer, and I read the story Sunday, and I ended up with a question because I thought that a concealed weapons permit was reasonable enough. After talking to one of my friends, it's basically, I guess, an open carry law is about the same thing. I might be misunderstanding that, and you know, and I'm here basically to get an answer for that, and also because I do think, you know, if this man was a law-abiding citizen. You know, I realized from what I understand in the news story that he was trying to board an HRT bus, and you know, I understand that the bus driver would probably call the police and things like that. I don't blame them for doing that, but I do have some opposition to the way he was treated by the police department, because, you know, apparently the gun was taken from him, and I don't remember the exact details. I forgot to take the entire story with me, but he did get the gun back. I would hope that, you know, things like this wouldn't happen anymore. And I would also like to make a suggestion, because, you know, I think that, you know, being able to carry a concealed weapon, like for the bus drivers to be able to do that, would actually be okay if they're legal, if they have a legal permit, because of what they face every day. You know, with the passengers that board and things like that, and you know, sometimes violence happens on the bus. It's a tough world that we live in, you know, but I'm certainly a supporter of the Second Amendment, even though I myself don't own a gun. And hopefully the right thing will be done. Thank you.
Will Agarn.
Yes, my name is Will Agarn. I lived in Norfolk for over 20 years. Been part of Ocean View, some of it in Robin Hood. My surviving sister currently lives in Ocean View. She is dependent upon public transportation to get around. She couldn't make it here tonight, but I talked to her today. Asked her what she thought about the situation concerning the citizens being harassed for carrying arms. And she doesn't carry arms herself, but she said she doesn't see any problem with honest people doing it. She says she doesn't understand why someone who's minding their own business and not causing any trouble doesn't understand why they aren't given the benefit of the doubt and allowed to go about their business. Which brought to mind what I thought was part of the foundation of our system of laws is the presumption of innocence. Seems like the cops have enough on their hands to deal with force and fraud. On top of that, they're loaded with all kinds of arbitrary laws they're supposed to keep us in line with, tax us with through tickets and so forth. For them to go making up things as they go along, there's no need for this. I think it's a shame, though, that the individual officers aren't held individually responsible. And that is taxpayers in Norfolk who have to pay for this.
John Fincher.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. The issue of Dan Moore has been covered fairly well by the speakers that have come up here before me. And simply add to that that what has happened to him is a shame. And I'd like to add that not only the police need to be educated, but apparently the bus drivers need to be educated on what is legal, so they don't call the police on people that are doing anything illegal. I have another issue I'd like to discuss with you tonight as well. The Virginia Freedom of Information Act makes it quite clear that public meetings are to be open. 2.2, section 3700. And yet, when we first tried to come in the building, people tried to force us to show identification. There's nothing in the Freedom of Information Act of Virginia that requires that for an open public meeting. Nor is there any requirement for us to sign in or to have a mug shot taken with a digital camera, which is what is in your policy. I guess my question is, what's the statutory background or backing for your policy? And I can assure you that I've never found any statute that requires me to carry identification as a pedestrian. Perhaps when I'm driving, yes, but I get to leave my driver's license in the car if I'm not driving. And I know of nothing in the Virginia Code that authorizes the city to require people to sign in on a log to enter a public building or to have a digital photo taken. And I have a question for you. What do you do with these books full of signatures that you've got right now? And what do you do with this digital database of photos? What is the procedure for that? Where is it disseminated to? What do you use it for? If the answer is nothing, what good is it? So, and that's not really a rhetorical question, Mr. Fishko. That's going to be a Freedom of Information Act request. So, I'd like to know, and I'd like to point out that it's a public building, folks. And even if it's not the scene of an open meeting under the Freedom of Information Act, you shouldn't be trying to control people's lives. You know, you've got a guy who's not carrying ID, wants to come in and use the public men's room, and you're going to hold him up and make him take a digital photo and sign in, and he's like this. Not a good idea. So there's two issues here. One is obviously Dan's issue and this issue. How many people here came into this building, did not show ID, did not sign in, did not have a photo taken? There you have it. That shouldn't be necessary. We should not have to just basically steamroll through your checkpoint. It should not be a checkpoint. I don't have to do any of that to get into Virginia Beach City Hall.
All right, Mr. Blanchard, thank you. Alan McLean.
I'm here about something in regards to Dan Moore. The article in the paper this weekend, so aptly titled, or tongue-in-cheek, Gun Group Targets City Hall. This article quoted several council members, Councilman Wright and Councilman Riddick. Councilman Riddick, I commend you for being here tonight. Last time we came here, you got me walked out, and I want to thank you for staying tonight. Really appreciate that. Councilman Wright said in the article, and I quote, "He's appalled by anyone who walks around with a gun in his holster." Councilman Wright's not here tonight, but he has a concealed carry permit. And my question to him would have been, he also said in the article he believes in gun rights. Well, which ones does he believe in? Some of them, or part of them, or whatever? We talk about rights. Gun rights is just not the issue. It's all of our rights. Back when blacks and women were granted suffrage, there are a lot of people that were appalled when blacks and women showed up at the polls to actually vote, when preferred they did not exercise that right. Gun rights are a constitutional right, just like voting is a right. And we should be able to exercise those. That's my saying to it. It doesn't really seem right. Why would you want to do that? The other thing, too, about the article, quoted Councilman Riddick is saying that when you see a guy standing downtown in front of a bank with a gun on, what would you expect the Irish police to do? And he said, you expect him to find out what the hell's going on. The answer is nothing. Once again, whether it's a bus or a bank or walking around downtown, Virginia statute allows us to carry in the open. He was doing nothing suspicious. Again, it does not warrant a Terry stop or whatever. He should not have been in custody the last time or this time. I'm a taxpayer in Suffolk. I lived for many years in Norfolk when I was first year in the military. And I don't want my taxpayer dollars in any county, any city, going to pay somebody for the rights being violated. It's a burden on the taxpayers. And thank you for your time again, Councilman Murdock. I commend you for being here again tonight. Thank you.